We've just arrived on the Greek island of Crete and the enjoyable old Venetian port of Chania on Souda Bay, and are having breakfast with a view, after which we waste no time in heading out to explore this new destination. We caught the local bus to Chania, about a 25-minute ride.
Are you ready for the day?
Rachel has her iPhone capturing her shots.
Heading into the town. The bus costs $1.50, Euro 50 each way.
I don't know who that man is, but he keeps following me around Greece.
Rachel clearly has my sense of humor. Here we are, time to explore. First impressions, it's a very nice place. Quite touristy, shops in abundance, the old market, plenty of places to eat, and even Rachel's favorite shoe shops. The place has a real laid-back feel to it, and we just take our time and stroll around. We were in for some pleasant surprises of what this place has to offer. I've actually never heard of it before we arrived here, and I've actually been in Crete before, in Heraklion, which is only about 100 miles to the east. Interesting buildings, the old and the new often side by side. The occasional street musicians enhancing the moment. Plenty of shops for Rachel, and plenty of places to sit and have a drink, so tourists can enjoy cafes, shops, and history all around. We've been to a number of Greek islands. Each has its own character. Here is no exception, and certainly caters to the needs of tourists. There's plenty of shops and plenty of alfresco cafes where one can enjoy a coffee, a snack, or a meal in a delightful setting. Just walking around here is part of the fun, and occasionally history rears its head. Anecdotes Mantakas was a freedom fighter against the Ottoman domination. The Greek Orthodox Church here is the presentation of the Virgin Mary Metropolitan Church and is prominent in the town. The architecture, very interesting. I remember remarking to Rachel, This place is different to other Greek islands we've visited. Even Starbucks is here. The fountain in Eleftheros Venizelos Square, the center of town. Horse and carriage rides are very popular and take tourists for a trip around the port. We then stroll down to the harbor, where one can hire a boat and take a ride around the inner harbor. The rise of tourism here, very evident. It's become a favorite with cruise ships. In fact, just 1 month later, I returned here on a cruise with Nate. The mosque is right on the harbor. I have to say that we were really tempted to take a ride on one of the boats, but when one is on a cruise ship, the lure of the sea is less powerful. Having said that, I did regret not taking a horse and carriage ride. I promised myself when I came back with Nate we would do it. Some interesting sights. So we simply strolled around and enjoyed this beautiful setting, making sure we took many pictures. There is great variety among the Greek islands. Santorini is different to Mykonos, and Mykonos different to Rhodes, and certainly Chania has a charm of its own that was quite different to anywhere we'd been before. Many places have a fascinating history, but little is evident. Here we were surrounded by remnants of history. Chania is the site of the Minoan settlement the Greeks called Kydonia. It was important enough to be mentioned in Homer's Odyssey and was ruled variously by the Byzantines, Arabs, the Ottomans and the Venetians. In World War II, the Germans and Italians came, and a significant proportion of the area's population was either executed or imprisoned because they resisted German rule. As was their way, the Germans eliminated the Jewish community of Chania during the occupation. Since the 1990s, the city has prospered and built a new airport and port. It's now a flourishing tourist resort in the Med. The harbour is a delightful scenic part of the old town and a pleasure to stroll around. In biblical times, Cretans were notorious. Their reputation as a lying, self-indulgent, sexually promiscuous race meant that Crete became proverbial for immorality in the ancient world. To be a Cretizo a Cretan, was to be a liar. The Bible in the book of Jeremiah 47:4 identifies the Philistines as having come from Crete. Quote, "The Philistines, those colonists from the island of Crete." An interesting thought here is what is known as the paradox of Epimenides, who first quoted the saying that all Cretans are liars, as he himself was a Cretan. Therefore, if he is himself a liar, what he says is untrue, and consequently, the Cretans are truthful. The paradox of Epimenides. In his letter to Titus, however, the Apostle Paul agrees with Epimenides and says from experience, he has surely told the truth. We will never know. Then, while Rachel did some shopping, I went to take a look around the Maritime Museum of Crete and the Firca Venetian fortress that dates back to the mid-16th century. By the early 16th century, the Ottoman Empire became a major threat to the Venetians, and they decided to build new fortifications in Chania. The Firca fortress was built to protect Chania's harbor. In 1630, the city was protected by 319 cannon that were placed in these gaps. The fortress has a strategic view of the harbor, and thus was able to protect it. I always enjoy walking through historic castles, and I really enjoyed this. And from here, there are great views over the harbor. I then strolled back to meet up with Rachel. It was indeed a very enjoyable place to visit. The Mediterranean is indeed a magical place, and there are many gems to be discovered. We loved the contrast that Souda Bay provided, different and interesting. Our next stop is Catacolon, the harbor of ancient Olympia.